I'm Darren Kennedy. My work involves TV, fashion and all things style.
I like them.
I love my job, my family and my partner Aidan. But lately I've been wondering if this is enough, or is there something missing? Could I be a dad?
Oh, good fella.
Could I handle the responsibility?
Oh my God. Tristan's on my finger.
What lengths would I have to go to?
They're flying around the place.
It's going to cost you around $100,000. Ew, you're the curly-haired boy with the two gay dads.
I want to find out if I can be a gay daddy.
I guess as a gay man, kids and having your kind of stereotypical family never really seems an option. Aidan and myself have been together for 10 years now, and we really have a very lovely relationship together. Last year I turned 30, and it was around the same time that my first nephew arrived, and that kind of triggered something in me and made me kind of wonder, gosh, I wonder, could I be a dad?
Go on, you have some more. It's lovely. You have to get big and strong. Ah, good boy.
The amount of love and enjoyment that I get from spending time with my nephews. And they're not even my children. I just want to look at all the options out there as a gay man in Ireland, just to see what lengths I'd have to go to. Do I want to even be a full-time dad? Or if it's even possible.
I consider myself to be very lucky. I grew up in a happy family who were hugely supportive of me when I came out. That said though, it wasn't easy.
When you realise there's something completely different, something completely against society views as norms and against everything that I had been taught growing up. I mean, there's no gay relations or no gay friends in the family, so it was completely alien. Battled with it at times, hoped that it wasn't the case, and maybe it was just a phase. Turns out it wasn't, and I am delighted to say at this stage of my life I would never change a thing.
When you came out and said, I'm gay, you might as well have said to me, I'm dead. And I'm being quite honest about it. It was the biggest shock I ever had. All these things were running through my head. He won't have a life, he won't have a family.
I was just shocked, you know. I wouldn't say that I was anti-gay by no means, but I certainly didn't understand it.
As much as it was odd for me coming to terms with being gay, I guess for any parent who doesn't suspect or expect anything other than their kids to be straight, it's a bit of a shock.
Would you still like for me to become a dad?
I would love that, yeah.
Why?
Because why shouldn't you? You know what I mean? Aidan and yourself are in love, and that's what people do when they're in love. I think you would make it fantastic fathers, both of you.
I think Aidan and I can offer a loving family for a child. We've obviously got a lot of shared values. I mean, you're not with someone for 10 years and don't have things in common. It's kind of a given, and I think I would hope we could give a child a lovely life.
A bit strange for me now, I must admit. Like two guys having a kid, you know, something I'd have to get my head around.
But let's say you and Mum couldn't have naturally had kids. Would you have been happy enough saying, okay, well sure, that's grand, we'll just enjoy life?
No, probably not, no. We always would have wanted a kid.
So why do you think it'd be any different for me?
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
Would you like it, that yourself?
Well, that's what I'm trying to discover. I think I would.
You said there, you think so. That's not good enough.
Well,
Darren.
that's why I'm investigating all this. Like, I need to figure out, well, A, if it's something I really want to do and how to do it.
That child's with you for life, and you're totally responsible. Is that what you want? Really? You don't know. You know, the thought process would have to be much longer than just saying, I fancy a kid for, what? Just because you see other people with kids?
He was very real about it. I mean, he wasn't trying to diminish in any way the possible complications, the difficulties that might arise. But it's great to have their 100% support.
If I would like to biologically father my own children, I have to have viable sperm. So I'm booked into the clinic this afternoon to test my sperm. I have to bring a sample down. The doctor told me to get one of these little specimen cups. I've always assumed that I'm virile and fertile, and it's kind of daunting because if I am told that my sperm count is low or that there's an abnormality, that I wouldn't be able to father a child, the fact that it would be so final that you could not produce kids yourself, I just think as a man is slightly crushing.
Straight couples are advised to try to conceive naturally for at least a year before seeking fertility treatment. As a gay man, that's not an option, so I need to test my fertility now.
Hi. My name is David Walsh. David, nice to meet you.
I'll bring you down to my office.
Okay, thanks.
So if you'd like to take a seat.
Thank you.
There's three things you look for in a sperm count. How many there are, how well they swim, and how many abnormal shaped ones there are. In fact, it's normal for men to have a lot of abnormals, but that rate of abnormality should be below a certain point. So for example, if only 1 in every 100 sperm is normal, then that is a serious and significant abnormality.
What about lazy sperms?
You'd rather have a guy with lowish numbers, but they swim well, than somebody with high sperm numbers but poor swimmers.
How do men react if they're told that they're not very fertile?
Badly. Very badly. Men react very badly. If they have a really significant male factor, it tends to question their own sense of masculinity, and they either will withdraw into themselves or they can be quite aggressive. You see it with women. It probably takes them a while as well, it does, but they respond to it in a different way.
How many sperm should I have? Like, what's the average number?
So you'd be expecting maybe in toto about 50 or 60 million sperm in a normal ejaculate.
Or 60 million. And you only need one of them to be able to swim.
Yes. Well, it has to get through. I mean, one of the descriptions of sperm's progression through the mucus, through into the cavity of the uterus and then to fertilise the egg, is that it's like swimming from Dublin to Holyhead through treacle.
It's a lot to take in.
So I've heard all about sperm. Now it's time to find out what the good, the bad and the unproductive actually look like.
They're flying around the place. How many mils is this sample?
It's less than a mil.
Are there any unhealthy sperms in this sample?
This one's got a broken neck. So we look at the sperm head to see if it has a normal shape, the neck of the sperm and the tail of the sperm. If everything is normal, we consider that a normal sperm.
The basics of human life under a microscope.
If this goes wrong, my hopes of becoming a biological father could end here.
I'm just waiting to find out now if my own sperm sample is healthy or not. It is make or break, because if it's not, it changes the course of everything.
Come in.
Hi, doctor. I'm hoping for the best.
So take a seat.
Definitely nervous.
These are your test results. First thing is, in reverse order, do you have antibodies in your sperm? You do not. Normal count. Do you remember I said more than 20 per million?
Yes.
26 per million.
So I scored above average.
Yes. Lastly but not least, you have a normal and plenty of normal sperm present. So on all of those parameters, you have a normal count and you should be reassured about that.
So in layman's terms, they're healthy.
They're fine.
Right. Thank you very much.
No badges or anything.
I feel like I should get a little star or an A+ or something. That's my competitive side coming out.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was actually really delighted to find out that I had very energetic sperms, above average. So I see that there's 4 options open to us, myself and Aidan, if we wanted to and we decide that we want to have a kid. Obviously surrogacy, co-parenting, adoption and fostering.
Surrogacy presents me with 2 choices. The traditional method, where with the use of fertility treatment, a woman could be impregnated by either myself or Aidan and the same woman carries the baby. But there is another option, whereby one of us impregnates one woman's eggs to create an embryo, but the embryo is then transferred to another woman who would carry the baby through pregnancy.
The different options are obviously surrogacy, so whereby either myself or Aidan would be the biological dad.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that? So basically, someone else would have a baby for us and then give it to us.
I think that'd be great. Because that way it would be one of you.
I think the surrogacy thing is a great idea.
Do you?
Well, in terms, yeah, because it will be part of you, biologically.
Aidan and myself haven't really discussed too much, you know, who would be the biological father if we were to go down that road. The child comes first, and whatever way that is produced, it's a blessing in life. And I think if you get hung up on who's going to be daddy biologically, well then it's a little bit off skew, in my opinion.
High-profile celebrities like Elton John and David Furnish and Ricky Martin have shown very publicly that surrogacy can work, but my journey is taking me right back to where it all started. In 1999, Barry and Tony Druitt-Barlow became the first gay couple in England to use an egg donor and surrogate mother, and they were also the first to be recognised on the birth cert of their children as both parents. They now have 5 children by surrogacy and are sharing their expertise through the British Surrogacy Centre, where they've assisted in the creation of over 120 babies in the past 8 years. I've arranged a meeting with Barry and his team to see if this could work for myself and Aidan.
Okay. Hi, Darren.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Lovely to
I'm
meet
Barry.
you.
Why are you here? What do you need us to help you with?
Really, I'm here because I'm intrigued and just kind of looking at what are the options available to me should I decide that I would like to have kids. We're looking at all options.
When you say we, is he as fully committed as you are?
I feel I've more to discover and more to find out if, in fact, I'm actually ready.
With a traditional surrogacy, we find a surrogate for you who will act as not only the carrier but the biological link to your child as well.
Does a mother have to be named on the birth cert?
She does, actually. So whether there's a biological link or not, she's still seen as the responsible parent, and so she has a lot of rights. We went to America to safeguard Tony and I as the parents of the babies. So we went into court about 5 months into the pregnancy, and we got a pre-birth order. Any child that was born to her within that period would be legally Tony's and mine.
Really?
And once the legal situation is sorted, it seems the possibilities are endless.
With the egg donor, we might get 20 eggs. So we'd split them into 2 petri dishes. You'll fertilise 10, your partner fertilises 10, and we'll take one of each, pop them both into the surrogate's uterus, and with a bit of luck, in the same way Tony and I's did, you get twins, and one of each of you is the biological father.
But it turns out that the science of fertility treatment isn't always an exact science. Barry and Tony set out to have 2 babies, but in the planting of their sperms, things didn't go quite as planned. Good things, it seems, do often come in threes.
When Aspen's egg was put in the petri dish with the sperm, 2 of the sperm managed to get into the egg, which turned 1 into 2. And so we didn't want to transfer 2 because we wanted 1 of each. So we used 1 of those and we froze the other. We took him out of the freezer, defrosted him, and popped him into the uterus of another surrogate.
What age is he?
He's 8.
He is, for all intents and purposes, biologically a twin of his brother who is 4 years older than him.
Yes. Then we would kind of recommend that we try and find you an egg donor that kind of had similarities with your partner so that we can cross those 2 looks together.
Can I have a look at the donor options?
Yeah. Do you want a plain Jane? Do you want a Mediterranean look?
Sallow skin, nice eyes, attractive.
So she's a model.
Yes, she is.
She's beautiful. Do we know where she's from?
Yes, she's in California.
She's one of the lower kind of cost ones.
There's another different
Pretty girl.
option there.
Hey, look at those legs.
She's a beautiful girl. Right, do we know if she's got a high IQ?
She's a college graduate. She's got a master's.
Telling you that crap about the genes of the intelligent people just doesn't work.
Does it not?
No, she's pretty.
She ain't Irish. This for me feels like I'm casting a shoot. And I'm choosing the girl that has the right look and I want to, which is quite bizarre when I actually think.
But if you were a
think
straight
about
man and you were out in a bar, you've gone out and chosen the person who you want to procreate with.
Yeah.
And this is all you're doing. We actually have people who work for us in California who spend all day walking around shopping malls and they'll find and target individual girls.
Model scouts go out there and do the exact same thing. We have egg scouts, basically.
egg scouts.
So how much are we talking about then, from start to finish?
It's going to cost you around $100,000.
It's a lot of money.
It is. You've got the most amazing eyes.
Oh, thanks.
Have you ever thought about being a sperm donor?
Depends how much money's in it.
£600 a pop.
When I was a student, I used to think about it, all right. Can we meet the kids?
You can.
I'm Darren Kennedy, and I'm on a journey to find out if I can become a gay daddy in Ireland.
And is this a good count?
This is very good.
So in layman's terms, they're healthy.
They're fine.
One option that would allow me to be the biological father of a child is surrogacy.
You'll fertilise 10, your partner fertilises 10, and we'll take one of each, pop them both into the surrogate's uterus, and with a bit of luck, you get twins, and one of each of you is the biological father.
I've just been to the British Surrogacy Centre run by Barry and Tony Druitt Barlow, the first gay men in the UK to become legal parents to a surrogate family. I left the centre feeling uneasy about the mechanics involved in surrogacy. Just how normal can life be for 2 daddies and 5 surrogate children?
I hear the dogs already. How many dogs have you got?
We've got 11 dogs.
11! Oh my God, I can say the kids love it. It's like their own little farm.
With the older children at school, twins Dallas and Jasper were the first to greet me.
Hey!
Can we do ballet though?
You've got great moves.
Put on to the back and stretch and point. Can we spin, turn?
Hey! What's it like? I mean, you know, as far as everyone's concerned, you guys are flying the flag.
Not miss having a mummy in the house.
No, it's more better around the house than having a mum and dad.
In this family, there are 2 daddies, 2 donor mums and 3 carrier mothers. It's all very clear to Barry and Tony, but what do the children make of it?
Family tree, so your dad and your daddy, so they obviously provided the sperm. So then the next stage is going to be the person, your actual biological mother.
Who came from Tracy?
Me.
Okay, so put your name down. You need to put Andrea. And who came from her?
Jasper Noah.
It may sound complicated, but for these children, it's crystal clear.
There you go.
So really, that's our family tree.
It's all very complicated for me.
That's because you're looking at it with Irish eyes and it's upside down. If you turn it the other way, you'll be
That's what it is.
Barry and Tony are not just rich, they're millionaires. And although they seem very down to earth, they can afford to have lots of help to manage their lifestyle.
So this is Saffron's room.
This is your sister's room. This is a great room. This is like a little bachelor pad. Oh, you have another TV?
Yes.
So why do you have 2 TVs?
This is for my Xbox. That's for the TV and Orlando's PlayStation.
I think I've decided I don't want a kid. I want to be one of your kids. What advice would you have for me? Because actually it's quite interesting. I'm 31, so the same age that you were, Barry, when you had the twins, the first set.
It has to fit your lifestyle. If it doesn't fit your lifestyle as it is at the moment, then you have to be prepared to change.
Are you gonna have any more?
What we would really like now is a little girl.
Would you like another sister?
No, I would like another 4 boys.
4. Who's dad and who's daddy?
He's the
I'll
daddy.
be your daddy.
Who's your daddy?
I'm the daddy.
Barry's definitely the daddy.
Surrogacy certainly seems to work for Barry and Tony, but why is it so rare in Ireland where surrogacy in same-sex relationships is virtually unheard of? Where would myself and Aidan stand legally? Time for some legal advice.
Marion, I guess my first question is, what is the legal status on surrogacy in Ireland?
In Ireland?
Yeah.
Well, surrogacy is not illegal in Ireland.
Is not illegal, but
It's
is it legal?
not illegal, but there's no legislation. Surrogacy contracts are unenforceable, and by that I mean if a surrogate mother gives birth to a child, and she changes her mind, then you cannot sue that surrogate mother on foot of the contract because the contract would not be enforced by Irish courts. In Irish law, the woman who gives birth is the mother and has all the rights and obligations. If she is married, for example, her husband is presumed to be the father of the child. I would not advise you to have a child by way of surrogacy in this country.
Really?
Correct, because you cannot afford it.
Would you like to see the law changed?
Absolutely. I think the law is a complete mess at the moment. What is happening is, despite no legislation and no law, people are still going ahead and having children by way of surrogacy, and those children are in a legal limbo. What we've all got to remember is that it's the children that we have to look at and their welfare and their interest, and it's not being provided for by this country at the moment because there's no legislation.
It's quite worrying when a solicitor tells you the law is a complete mess, but somehow it's not just the legal status that's worrying me. I have some far more personal concerns about the pitfalls of surrogacy.
It's very, very expensive and very costly, and obviously it's a long process. Not only do you have the 9-month period of the child, but finding a suitable clinic, a suitable carrier, a suitable donor. I mean, it's actually quite complicated. Life as a single person or as a person without kids is very self-focused. I'm not going to say self-centered, because I think both Aidan and I are quite unselfish individuals, but ultimately life is self-centered in that you can come and go when you want to. I can go off and travel the world for a few months and do a travel series if I have to, without really thinking of anyone else.
Another option that would allow either myself or Aidan to become a biological father is co-parenting. If we knew a lesbian couple or straight woman who wanted to share a child, one of us could donate the sperm and we could try to conceive using fertility treatment. Once again, I'm not so sure about this.
Do I want to be a part-time father? On one hand, you kind of go, that'd be great, wouldn't it? You get to have the baby for a few days a week, or the child, and do all the lovely stuff, and then go about your business during the week of work and having that flexibility. Part of me kind of feels that that's a bit of a cop-out, and part of me is really attracted to that.
How about co-parenting? A lesbian couple wanted a baby as well, and we gave the necessary half.
Yeah.
And that person had the baby. So you kind of shared ownership of the baby.
Well, first of all, I think that would be very unfair for the baby. I mean, talk about confusion. What would they call you? 2 mummies and 2 daddies. No, I don't think I'd be into that, to be honest with you, no.
What about the father? Who's the father?
Well, one of us would have to be named as the father.
That's a bit odd now, isn't it?
But we would be the father.
But if it was yourself, say, that had donated the sperm, so you'd be the biological father, so Aidan wouldn't really get a look in legally, would he?
Yeah, well, that currently under Irish law, that's what it is, yeah.
So that poses a problem.
And in terms of co-parenting, what would your advice be?
My big concern would be if it didn't work and the relationship broke down, then you, as a shared parent, co-parent, would have absolutely no rights to that child. The woman who gave birth to the child has all the rights, and she can tell you to go to hell, basically.
Even as the biological father?
Well, if you were the biological father, you would have to look for guardianship rights of the child, because in Irish law, as it currently stands, an unmarried father has no automatic rights of guardianship of the child.
For co-parenting to work, it has to be a meeting of minds as much as anything else. And a child to potentially have 4 parents would be tough. It's all very well me going on a journey to find out if I want to be a dad, but I guess I wonder what it would be like for a child growing up with 2 gay dads.
Nobody really knows the answer to that question unless they've experienced it firsthand, which brings me to Lorelei, who was raised in Ireland by her gay father. If anyone knows, she should.
So what was your family setup?
Well, until I was 6, my parents were together, my mum and my dad. And when I was 6, they split up.
Did you ever get a hard time growing up because you had a gay dad?
For the most part, I just got positive reactions. It was just like, oh, okay, fair enough. And the few negative reactions never made me unhappy about my family life.
Do you feel you've missed out on anything?
I think I'm probably just as happy as I would have been if he'd been straight. I think I'm just happy because I had a dad that I loved and who loved me, and his sexual orientation, for all I was aware of it, wasn't really part of our bond. It didn't really affect the way I felt about him or the way he felt about me.
What advice would you have for me considering fatherhood?
I guess just that if you feel that you're ready for children, then your sexual orientation shouldn't be something that's in your way. It shouldn't be an obstacle to hold you back in any way. Like, as long as you're kind of true to yourself, that's just going to be something that you teach your children to do as well, which is a good thing, I suppose.
Harry's been part of myself and Aidan's lives for 6 years now, and he is, for all intents and purposes, the closest thing we have to a child.
Harry definitely is my baby. You could say life revolves around him quite a lot of the time, making sure he's fed, walked, watered, and then of course when we go away to make sure that someone minds him. Little Lord Fauntleroy, aren't you?
But I guess I need to find out if I could cope with the stress of a real live human baby.
In order to get a better handle on what exactly is involved with having kids, I have volunteered my services, probably rather foolishly, but I am going to mind my brother's kids, my nephews, Tristan, who's 20 months old, and Adam, who is all of 6 weeks. Now, the problem is, Adam is actually very colicky at the moment and is not sleeping at all. I'm feeling really nervous, to be honest, because it's going to be just me with 2 kids under 2. Who's this?
Adam.
And who's Adam?
Brother.
Your brother. Adam's having his dinner.
Yes.
Hungry. The funny thing is about kids, like, obviously for the first couple of months of their lives, they're basically just like slugs. Like, they're these giant slugs. Like, they don't really do anything, you know, and I mean that in an affectionate kind of way.
I think I'm a little bit tense because I can feel it across my shoulders already. Look at him though, isn't he just gorgeous?
My reference point for having a child at the moment kind of is attached to Tristan.
Right, are we going to go into the car?
He's kind of at that fun stage, toddler stage. That's where I kind of picture myself as being able to have fun, bring him to the park, feed the ducks, kind of get, like, he's a great little giggler. And that's what I kind of envisage, because I guess that's where we're at the moment. I never do a big supermarket shop. Myself and Aidan would eat out most of the time, to be honest. I guess if you have a family, you have to, but how hard can it be, taking 2 small kids to the supermarket? Right. Okay. Good boy. Oops. Tristan, we're coming for you now, you're okay?
I have a feeling I may have spoken a bit too soon. For a start, I had no idea how long it takes to get in and out of a car with 2 small children.
Come on in and you can walk when we go in. Good boy, put your feet, yes. And we're off. Oh, that's a nice car, isn't it? Nice car. Look. What's wrong with you? Do you want your soother?
Okay, maybe he just didn't like the escalator.
Oh, look at that. Do you want to go? No, I better not. Go on. Now. Whee! Woo! Woo! Good boy. Yeah, come on. Oh, in there. Good boy. Adam's gonna wake up. And if Adam wakes up, we're in trouble. Right, where's the baby food, Tristan? You've been here before. Aha, whoops. $8.39 for these. $10.39. I couldn't believe the price of stuff. I mean, bare essentials like nappies and formula were all around €10 each, and they only last a couple of days. I never really realised how expensive it is to bring up a child. Jesus, that's expensive. Buy one, get one free. You get a bargain. Bargain. Do you want an apple? No. Why not? You said you wanted it. I kept having to feed him all the way around the store. He wanted an apple, then he didn't, so I got him a sausage. Chew, good boy. Yeah, make sure to chew your food. This is a tough job, isn't it?
Please just don't let Adam wake up.
Where's his soother? Ah, look, it didn't touch the ground. Juice. No juice. We've no juice. All I kept hearing was juice, juice, juice. Let's get juice. Let's get juice. I did my best and just got him a drink. Oh, slowly, slowly. Oops. It's Thursday work. Bye-bye, man. Jesus Christ. They're hard work, those seats. That was exhausting. I don't know how they do it for 24 hours.
But that's just for starters. After the break, I take the 2 boys overnight.
Tristan, that is disgusting. Oh, it's all up your back.
And I travel to Wexford to meet a gay couple who turned tragedy to happiness by becoming legal guardians of their 2 children.
That one's Daddy Colin and that one's Daddy Paul.
My quest to discover whether I could become a gay daddy in Ireland is turning out to be more complicated than I thought. Surrogacy seems to be a legal nightmare.
I think the law is a complete mess at the moment.
And my other options are far from straightforward.
How about co-parenting?
Talk about confusion. What would they call you? 2 mummies and 2 daddies.
I don't know if there is an ideal scenario for share parenting for me and Aidan. I think it would have to be something that is very organic.
Co-parenting seems to present a lot of uncertainty for myself and the child and leaves Aidan without any real rights. But if I can come to terms with not being the biological dad, then there are other routes.
As far as options that are readily open to myself and Aidan as a gay couple, fostering is the only one that readily invites gay parents, which is great, it's fantastic. But I guess if you want to be a foster parent, one of us would have to be prepared to give up work. I think for either of us to step away from what we do, to step out of going to work every day, to doing what you love, and to mind a child, and for that to be your job, would be a huge ask. And I think it's the same for any couple.
And what do you think about fostering?
Fostering is very hard because I know people who foster children, but you always have to give them back.
I think you have to be very emotionally strong for that. And I just don't know if I'd be able for it.
But there are gay men in Ireland who are well able. People like Vivian and his South African partner Ernie, who have been fostering children for over 8 years.
Why fostering?
Why fostering? Because I kind of thought there's lots of kids there already. We don't have to actually make more kids. There's enough kids out there who could maybe do it a hand.
Most foster children, 95% of foster children, come from very, very bad and difficult and problematic, traumatic backgrounds.
And the children are very innocent in this situation. They didn't do anything to end up being sent to our home, and it's really how do you help them through that journey.
As foster carers, how much of a say do you have in the child's life?
It is as restrictive as if a child their class is going on their summer tour, the form that has to be filled out to give permission, technically that has to be referred back to the social worker to give permission. And I mean, the social workers have enough to be doing without dealing with that stuff.
I imagine the whole process to be quite intrusive. Was it difficult on you guys as a couple?
I sometimes said it was a bit like an NCT for a relationship because you do have to analyse each other and write reports on each other.
What effect would you say it's actually had on your relationship?
Well, I think since he came into our lives, that has cemented our relationship in a much better way than it was before, because now the focus is on him and not only between the two of us.
We've had to work together very closely as a team, as a couple, in dealing with a lot of new issues, a lot of new challenges, but it's also been really great.
Did you experience any negativity at any stage?
Fostering was almost coming out again, having to tell people that you were going to be doing something quite different to what they would have experienced. And for me, a really touching thing was when we got our first child. All the neighbours came with toys, and I thought that was the nicest way they could say we really support and accept what you're doing. When I'm washing dishes, I'm not gay. You're not a gay dishwasher, or you're not a gay cooker or a gay worker. You're just doing whatever it is. And when it comes to parenting, you're not a gay parent.
One of the difficulties I have with fostering is the fact that it could be quite short term. How do you deal with that, and how do you learn to cope with that, I guess?
I mean, I think there's a perception about fostering that you build up this incredible attachment, you love the child to bits, and suddenly these wicked social workers come and wrench the child out of your home and everyone's screaming and roaring. The reality isn't like that at all. There could be a situation where both the foster carer and the foster child want the arrangement to finish.
Any regrets about it?
My only regret was that we didn't do it sooner.
Never thought that I would be sitting here with, which I called like my boy. Which is, well, it's not my boy, but he feels to me like my boy.
Comparing surrogacy with fostering was quite interesting for me, because surrogacy was really all about what the parent wants. Hair colour, 6-foot model, the preferences. You're choosing all these things and hoping that they will be in your baby. Fostering, though, was all about what the child needs and what's best for the child.
Vivian and Ernie have coped with the sacrifices and the lifestyle change, but could I? I'm going to get just a taste of how different my life would be if I was a dad. This time, I'm taking my nephews 20-month-old Tristan and 6-week-old Adam for an entire night.
Okay. You're a little messer. What are you doing?
Uh-oh.
I smell your nappy. It doesn't smell good. Ah! Tristan! Tristan Kennedy, that is disgusting! Oh, it's all up your back. Tristan's on my finger. Which way is the front? No. Is that okay? What the hell?
One won't sleep while the other's awake, and I can't be in two places at the same time.
Ah, here's Adam. Now, Tristan, you come in here. Good boy. Come on, close that door. Now, you stay here. Moisturise him with nighttime cream that helps relax him. Good boy. Are you going to help me? Oh, no, be careful. Be careful. No, oh, no, put that back in, Tristan. Oh, a little bit sick on Adam. No. Now, you be careful. Oh, be careful, Tristan. Oh. Be careful.
Water.
Oh, water. Okay, hold on, Tristan. Now. Jeez. I'm roasting. I haven't really done much, but it's you. Keep me on my toes. Before minding my nephews, kind of just thought you'd put them down to sleep early evening and then put the feet up and watch a movie. You gonna give me a kiss? Do you want to lie down? Let's just we lie down together. Come on. No. No? Sit back. No? We go to the bed? Let's go to bed. No, it's okay. Tristan, you're not going to go to sleep? Go asleep. I've no idea to get this fella to go to bed.
Yes.
Do you want a bed?
Yes.
Oh, he might go to bed now. Fingers crossed. Come on. Do you want to lie down here?
No.
He doesn't know what he wants to do.
So what's the best song to put a baby to sleep?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Oh, do you not want to go to bed? Why not?
3 hours later, Tristan is finally asleep, just not in his bed.
It's 11 o'clock and I think I've finally got him to sleep. The problem is now I'm slightly petrified to move for fear of waking him up. But he's gonna have to go upstairs to his own bedroom because I can't stay like this all night. And at the moment Adam is asleep, but he's gonna need feeding in probably about an hour, so I really want to try and enjoy this hour to myself. It's 3:20 and he's just woken up for his feed. I was actually hoping I would have had some sleep by now, but literally every time I start to fall asleep, he'd move or let out a little squeak. I've managed to get absolutely no sleep with him beside me in the room. Hopefully he'll go to sleep after this feed, so I might get about 3 or 4 hours sleep if I'm lucky.
Baby Adam has colic, so as well as his feed, he needs his medicine.
So give him the Infocal first, 2 drops of that, half his feed, Wyndham, the rest of his feed. You'd want to be awake, I tell you that much, because there's a lot to do. No pooey nappies, which is always nice at this time of night. Oh yes, success. Oh, did you fart? The last time I was up at this hour, I was coming home from the pub. But I guess at least someone's getting to have a drink. I'm farting like a trooper. You okay? It's okay, it's okay. It takes so long to feed him though, I never realised. And now he's fallen asleep, but I'm determined that he's going to finish this bottle. Because my logic is, the more he eats, the longer he sleeps. And the longer time before he eats again. And the more I sleep, there you go. I can't even speak. Good boy, Adam. Oh, good fella. Look at him. Oh. That's not nice.
Now I've lost a vital piece of equipment.
I'm looking for a soother. It was here a minute ago, so I think it might be in the bed, but he had it when he woke up. I don't know what I did with the soother. I heard it. It flew off the plate, but now I can't see it. Ah, there it is. Got it. 4:25. It's actually an hour since he woke up to be fed. So hopefully he'll settle down, go back asleep. I'll get a few hours sleep before Tristan wakes up and he needs to be fed again. Good night.
And before you know it, morning, or should I say daybreak.
I did sleep, but not enough. Just coming up to 7:30 now. And I just put the baby down after his last feed. About 5:25. So that's about 2.5 hours max.
Coffee. Oh, I don't think I could handle two. The lack of sleep, though, for me was just, it really hit me like a train.
Ooh!
Tristan needed his breakfast. His nappy changed.
Stay down.
Dressed.
You look super stylish.
Adam needed nappy change.
Oh my God.
Like it was non-stop. It was lovely. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved it.
Oh.
But I can imagine the routine of that, day in, day out, 7 days a week. It's a long time.
I think everyone should have a nanny.
I'm not giving up yet. There is still one final option open to me which could see me become the permanent legal parent of my child.
Adoption, you acquire legal rights to the child, such as guardianship, custody. Current position is that only a married couple or a single man or woman can adopt.
So whether you be a gay or straight couple, unless you're married, you cannot adopt as a couple, which is a farce, if you ask me. If you're good enough to mind a child for 2 or 3 years as a foster parent, surely you're good enough to adopt a child.
Well, I would agree with that, but you need to get the law changed to reflect that.
Why should one person be seen in the eyes of the law as just having no connection with that child and no rights? You know, if the child has to go to hospital, you're not seen as a legal guardian. You can't give permission for anything. I just think it's flawed. It's very, very fundamentally flawed.
For many, parenthood isn't always planned. In Wexford, director of Amnesty International Ireland, Colm O'Gorman, had always wanted to be a dad, but as a gay man, didn't think it would be an option. Following the bereavement of a close friend, Colm and partner Paul became legal guardians to Sean and Safia.
Everyone's coming out of it. How are you? Lovely to meet you. Is it going to be harder on a child having two dads, in the sense that are people going to bully and that type of thing?
And we haven't had any kind of negativity from people, and most importantly, they haven't had any, and that was a big concern for us. But even if that were the case, you don't decide that loving somebody is a problem because other people might have a problem with it. I mean, that's an issue that people need to tackle at the level of the bully and not at the level of the bullied.
Having met them, it's clear that this is a happy, loving family. But what really bugs me is that it took a tragedy to even make this possible.
Can you tell us how you ended up becoming a dad?
A very close friend of mine, Susie, one of my best friends, told me that she was pregnant. And that was complicated by a couple of things. First of all, the fact that the relationship that resulted in the pregnancy had ended. And secondly, that Susie had an illness that she would eventually die from. At that point, it was phrased in the language of, if I die, will you be my baby's guardian? And it was kind of it's not a question I had expected, but my instant reaction was yes, absolutely. On the condition that he would know his story from birth. You know, that he would know that before he was born, he had another dad, but he wasn't ready to be a dad, and his mum asked me, would I be his father? And I said yes, and that's how I became his dad. But as soon as she asked me, I fell completely in love with him. And he was my child from that moment, you know? For me, in many ways, it was a very conventional experience, right down to flying around Hyde Park Corner in my little Ford Escort at 2 in the morning with contractions 2 minutes apart. A heavily pregnant woman sitting beside me and me encouraging her to breathe and that we'd get there, it would be okay, and it was extraordinary.
What do you think about the legal situation?
with regards adoption in Ireland? I mean, do you think the law needs to change?
Absolutely, and I mean, just from the get-go, what the state is going to do by design, not by accident, not by circumstance or tragedy, but by design, would be to place a child with you in your care legally, but not to allow that child to have a legal relationship with your partner who will be the child's co-parent. There is no family security for the child within that family.
And I guess I have to ask, what advice, if any, would you have for me in my situation?
The biggest thing, I suppose, to just realise is that all of the differences, all of the challenges that people will throw up as big challenges to you as a gay man are in people's heads. The challenges that you'll face in becoming a parent are the challenges that everybody else faces. It's been and is incredible, absolutely incredible. So if you're going to do it, get on with it.
Colm said if I'm ready to be a dad, then I should get on with it. But if my only options are to spend hundreds of thousands of euro or face a future of legal uncertainty, then my question is this: are society and the law ready for me?
I've met some incredible dads, and really the lengths that they've gone to become dads is quite impressive and quite incredible. Nothing is made easy, but they've managed, and they've created really, really warm, loving, protective families for their kids. But you know, I can think, why should I have to do anything different from anyone else? And it just irritates me. There's no backup from the state. There's no legal framework there to protect unconventional families such as two gay dads. I think for me, I would need the legal framework to reflect what society is. I mean, I guess I can be happy in the knowledge that I'll always have my nephews, and I love them to bits, and I love spending time with them. And who knows, maybe they might have some more brothers and sisters, or my sister will have kids along the way, hopefully. And that's great, but right here, right now, I need more.
Said we'd be true.